Hello viewers, welcome to MIJ Technologies, MIJ Tech Hacks, from complete beginner to software engineer. Hello everyone and welcome to MIJ Technologies. My name is Innocent Junior and I am excited to have you here. This channel was created for one purpose, to take a complete beginner and guide them step by step into becoming a skilled software engineer through practical learning skills, real coding, and real projects. To take a computer science course, for example, you major in artificial intelligence, major in data analytics, data science, and very many other disciplines in computer science. If you have never written a single line of code before, you are welcome to this platform. If you have tried learning programming before and felt overwhelmed, you are welcome also here on this channel. If you've started multiple tutorials and never finished them, you are also welcome to this platform. If your dream is to become a software engineer, data analyst, machine learning engineer, technology professional, then you are exactly in the same place, because that's what we are going to be majoring in. One thing I wanted to do, why I created this video, is to give you a preamble and introduction why this channel exists. Why this channel? Why all in YouTube channels? Why have we decided to come up with such and such a channel? One thing I noticed while learning programming is that many tutorials explain concepts, but very few teach students how to actually build software. Students watch videos, students understand concepts, students memorize syntax, but when they sit down and try to figure out things alone, when they sit down and try to build something, they don't know where to begin from. The problem is not intelligence. The problem is not lack of practical experience. The problem is not the way they learn, or the problem is not about procrastination and very many other things. But programming programming is built on practice, building practical projects. That's where real world skills come along, and then later you become career focused. Programming is not a spectator sport. You don't become a developer by just watching videos. So if you have been struggling with such and such cases, this is the exact place, and this is what we are going to be doing on this channel, to break that cycle, to break that cycle that keeps you, behind. I'll take you further. What makes this channel different? Most courses teach concepts. We will teach concepts too, but we won't stop them. We won't stop there. Every topic we learn, we will follow a structured process. Step one, we shall learn the concept, then practice the exercises, then solve the problems together, debug errors together, build real projects, and then you will also know how to explain from memory. You will not simply watch me explain finished code. We will start with a blank screen and we will think through the problem. So that's how this channel is going to operate. We'll design the solution, we'll write every line of code together, we'll make mistakes together, we'll encounter errors, we will debug those errors together. And we will continue until the application works exactly as intended. Because that's how software is built in the real world. So our learning strategy, or our learning philosophy on this channel, on this channel, mistakes are failures, are not failures. Mistakes are not failures. Mistakes are part of learning. When a program crashes, we investigate. When we receive an error, we learn from it. When our solution doesn't work, we improve it. Many beginners fear errors. Professional developers learn from them. Therefore, don't be afraid when things fail. Failure is part of the process. Every bug is an opportunity to learn something new. So I'll take you through a sample roadmap that we will follow on this channel. Let me show you some course outline or some roadmap that we are going to follow on this channel. So this is a complete Python course from beginner to professional Pythonista. It is the course that we are going to be following, and it might take us through a duration of 25 to 30 weeks, given our consistency. Remember, consistency beats intensity. You don't have to code for 8+ hours a day. You have to dedicate 2 hours. You have to dedicate 1 hour of consistent and focused study. So the format is self-paced with the projects, and then the outcome is a production-ready Python developer. We're not going to cover only Python. We shall cover other programming languages into our journey of becoming a complete software engineer. So we'll begin with Python, and Python is one of the most beginner-friendly and powerful programming languages in the world. It is used in artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science, automation, web development, cybersecurity, scientific computing, and many other fields. So our Python roadmap is designed to take us from beginner level to the professional level. We'll begin with the fundamentals. We'll begin with the fundamentals or foundations. Installing Python, setting up our development environment, writing our first program and running our first program, understanding variable and data types, learning how programs make decisions, then using loops, working with data structures, writing functions, mm, handling files, debugging and error handling. Then we'll move into advanced topics like object-oriented programming. Uh, we'll move through advanced topics like object-oriented programming. That will be phase 3, weeks 9 to 12. Mm. And then in that we shall cover module 9, which includes object-oriented programming fundamentals. Those are the classes and objects, the attributes and methods, the int constructor, then the instance versus the class variables, the self parameter, and the encapsulation basics. Then later we shall move into object-oriented programming, advanced concepts that include inheritance, uh, method overriding, multiple inheritance, polymorphism, abstract base classes, property decorators and getters, offsetters. And then in module 11, we shall go further to cover magic methods, understanding Danda methods, the Danda names, operator overloading, context managers, comparison methods. So we shall go deep down into Python. Every topic we study about, we do an exercise, and then we come up with a working program or a working project. Module 12, it shall introduce to us the design patterns introduction. What are design patterns? The singleton pattern, the factory pattern, the observer pattern, the decorator pattern, and then when to use which pattern. Then later in phase 4, we shall go for the advanced Python. We shall look at iterators and generators, understanding iteration protocol, creating custom iterators, generating functions and yield, generator expressions versus list comprehensions, iter tools, module deep dive, practical applications of generators, then later tackle decorators. Function decorators, we shall explain them and elucidate them fully, then creating custom decorators with arguments, class decorators, func tools, module, the wraps, then the practical decorator patterns. Then in module 15, we shall go through the context managers. That is creating custom context managers, context leaf module, then using art context manager decorator, resource management patterns, then the nested context managers. And later in module 16, that is functional programming, we shall look at first class functions, higher order functions, map, filter, reduce, partial functions, then closures, then pure functions, and immutability concepts. Then in module 17, we shall look at advanced collections, working with arrays, decrease for efficient operations, then bisect for sorted lists, custom collection types, and later in module 18, go to regular expressions. We shall look at the regex syntax and then patterns, then the remodule functions, match objects and groups, look ahead, look behind, practical text processing, common regex patterns, and everything. Then later we shall go for phase 5 that includes professional development, and that will be weeks 19 to 24. Then virtual environments and package management, that's understanding virtual environments, the people and requirements, the text. Then poetry for dependency management, the Conda environments, then managing project dependencies. Then in module 21, we shall see how to work with APIs, the HTTP basks, then the request library, working with JSON APIs, authentication API keys, error handling in API calls, rate limiting, building simple REST APIs with Flask. Then later in module 22, we shall come to database integration. That is the SQL-based SQLite module, database design principles, the connection pooling, transactions, and rollbacks. Then we shall move through we shall move through smoothly as the course outline suggests. Then later we shall go for specialization and professional tools. We shall look at data science track, we shall look at web development track, we shall also go deep into automation and scripting. Then later look at performance of optimization. Then later we shall go for security best practices, then professional development workflow. So the capstone projects that we shall build, we shall begin with beginner projects, that is the calculator application, the to-do list manager, the number guessing game, simple contact book. Then intermediate topics, we shall come up with the weather app using APIs, the web scrapper for data collection, personal expense tracker, the file organizer script. Then advanced topics, we shall move into full stack web application, RESTful API with databases, data analysis dashboard, automation suite for daily tasks, the command line program tool with AgPass. Then professional projects we shall we shall construct the scalable microservice, open source contribution, production ready package on PI, then complex system with testing, CI, OCD, and documentation. So I would recommend these learning resources. You go for the Python Crash Course by Eric Mathis, that is the beginner. Then if you went Python by Luciano, that is advanced, and then Effective Python by Brelt Slatkin, that is the professional one. The practice platforms we shall always be using, we shall use LeetCode, Real Python for studios, then Project Ruler for math problems. Then code wars for challenges. Time commitment, you can dedicate 10 to 15 hours a week or 6 to 8 months to a professional level. 20 to 25 hours a week, 3 to 4 months to professional hours. Remember, consistency is more important than intensity. So that is the sample layout of the course outline that you are going to be following, and that will guide us through this complete Python roadmap. I want you to always stay consistent, to always subscribe to this channel, MIJ Tech Acts, so that any video or tutorial that we update or we upload to YouTube, you watch it, you practice, you do the analysis, and then we move together. We move together in everything. So how will projects work? This is where real learning takes place. We have like a sample project that I can take you through here. Let's just see. We have a sample project that I can take you through here. How our projects will be consisting of. For example, if we are to handle before projects, maybe if you are to handle like a certain topic, let's just say we are to handle data structures. Let's say we are going to handle data structures. We shall have notes like these ones. We shall have a sample notes or sample guideline like this one. Sample guideline like this one. Let's just say this is Python programming, that is module 2, core data types and variables. The prerequisites, none. You don't need any prerequisite. You don't need to know computer. You just need your computer and your time. So we go through the data, the what are variables, Python data types, what overview constants, and so on. So that's how our notes will be, and we shall always discuss them together. Then later go to our integrated development environment to practice our coding. So that's how our notes will be organized with examples, and later down we shall conclude our notes with sample exercises to try out at the end of the topic. So those are the practical exercises. We shall always go through them together, and I'll always leave some few for you to try out in your free time, and then we shall create a report on what we have learned. We take that as complete, and we'll go to the next thing. The sample projects that we shall be dealing with, examples of the projects that we shall be dealing with after we have completed maybe a topic. We can, our topics will be consisting like this, or our projects will be mimicking such and such a structure. There will be assignment based, and we shall start with assignment 1. We shall put marks for us to not to like an exam, like to call it an exam, but these marks are going to be like guidelines or things that make us uh, motivated to attempt these questions. Whenever you lose out something that is important, a mark is deducted. So we have something like a sample question, like write a command line program that stimulates a library booking system. Your program should allow a librarian to manage multiple members, borrowing books, and calculate total amount each member must pay. Your solution must demonstrate structured programming, proper use of functions, loops, and conditions. So that's how our question paper will be looking like. Or that's how our overall projects will be looking like. Then part A, member information input. You should know how to uh, repeatedly prompt your librarian to enter the member name, book title. So it is like a full working program, but in form of an assignment. Then the calculations part, then the member receipt display later, then the summary statistics, but everything will come from what we shall be practicing and the topics that we shall have reached on at that given time for us to construct such and such uh, a project. So we shall have also the sample output. We shall always follow the sample output. It designs the calculations that it is mimicking, its the format and everything. So that's how our assignments will be looking like. When we construct something and then you also try it in your own free time. So I'll be uploading these assignments, and then you'll also be trying out in your free time. So a student who practices by doing assignments, by doing exercises, by doing projects, excels, and they do much in retention more than retaining syntax. They can do much of the construction. So we shall always be passing through the notes, passing through the teaching, explaining concepts, but much of our time we shall dedicate it to project building and exercises, because that's where we make our long-term memory. That's where we move from memorizing syntax to thinking like real programming. So this is the unique feature of this channel. Instead of copying code from the internet, we will work from specifications. You receive requirements, you receive instructions, you receive sample outputs. Then together we will design and build a solution that satisfies these requirements. This mirrors how software engineers work in the workspace. Clients do not give you the code. They give you the requirements. They give you, you create the solution. So that's the skill we are going to develop together. So a client comes, tells you, I want such and such a program, it should do this and this and this, it should do display like this, it should have such and such a layout, it should have such and such a graphical user interface, the buttons should be yellow, the what. So something like that, those are the instructions that this entire question is trying to mimic to us or trying to guide us. So what do you need in order for you to succeed? You don't need expensive equipment. You don't need a computer science degree. You don't need a prior coding language or prior coding experiences. What you need is just one: consistency. One lesson at a time, one exercise at a time, and later one project at a time. Small progress repeated consistently produce extraordinary results. Remember, consistency beats intensity. So a message to the future engineers, to the future software engineers: imagine where you could be in 6 months from now. Imagine looking back and realizing that today was the day that you started. Imagine building your first calculator, then your first management system, and later your first API, your first database application, then your first professional software project. Everything begins with a single lesson. Everything begins with a single decision to start. In my closing remarks, I will thank you for joining me on this journey. Subscribe to the channel, follow the roadmap, complete the exercises, build the projects, make mistakes, learn from them, and continue improving. Together, we are going from complete beginner to software engineer. Remember, we don't learn programming by watching code. We learn programming by building. So let's start building and we perfect it. I'm Innocent Junior Mkwaya. We'll meet in the next coming tutorials. Bye bye.